There was just a post put up at the Freedom from Nicotine board from a member whose dog had just passed away today. And it was totally unexpected. I think he was in the vet for something routine, and the vet called him up and told him that his dog had died. And what the person had written, and he had just quit 18 days ago, what the person had written was he was very upset by the fact that a friend of his, when hearing about this, offered him a cigarette. And he had just quit for 18 days, and this was a type of situation that would get most people mad if they really wanted to quit smoking and they really had dedicated themselves to stopping, and something tragic like this happens and somebody offers them a cigarette. And you can understand how that would really tick a person off. Now, I have a video talking about offers for cigarettes, and that one is addressing situations where a person quits smoking and then somebody finds out they quit and offers them cigarettes. And you can almost tell from the way it's done, it has nothing to do with trying to make the person feel better. It's almost at a point where the person is a drug addict themselves who's making the offer, who's almost threatened by the fact that this other person had stopped smoking and offers it to put them back to smoking. And I have a tactic built in on how to deal with offers like this. And I'll attach the video into this description here. But this one's different because you know what? In all likelihood, the person making the offer was being sincere and thinking it was going to help the participant of the board, that it was going to help them because, they just had this tragedy happen. And they're working with the basis of how they would react if they were in this current circumstance. This is different than someone trying to undercut a quit. This is someone trying to offer genuine help. Problem is, the person who's trying to offer genuine help is a drug addict and basing it what he thinks would be helpful. Now, if it had to happen to anybody, I'm glad it happened to somebody who was a member of the board. I am, because we try to prep members of our board for just such circumstances. We try to help them understand there's no legitimate reason to relapse, that deaths are going to happen, that catastrophes are going to happen, and that they have to understand they're going to need to be able to sustain their quits during those times. We try to help them understand it before these things happen, so when they do happen, they've got some semblance of ammunition ready to deal with it. Now, he was saying that he was, he shouldn't have got as angry as he did with the friend. And again, it's understandable. I think you could very easily go back to this friend and explain, I'm sorry if I seem really upset, but I wouldn't let the friend totally off the hook in a way. And what I mean by that is, I think you should tell them the mistake that friend made. You see, the friend is still a drug addict. You are, in a sense, beyond an active addiction. And basically, you've got a lesson. If you really care about this friend, and I think the person does, if you really care about them, help them to understand that what they did was wrong because you were a person who's off and you don't want to go back to smoking. And it wasn't going to help you feel better. In fact, it was going to make you feel worse. You almost want to get this message out for twofold purposes. In case you guys have any common friends who may quit one day, he may do it again. He may make that offer again to another person because he never realized how wrong it was to make the offer this time around. Hey, you were in recovery. You didn't need it. You weren't in withdrawal. All it would do is put you back to withdrawal. Well, he may do this to somebody else one day who doesn't have that understanding, and they may lose their quit. So that's one real good reason to follow up with the friend and let them know, what was wrong with what they did. The other reason, though, is to help the friend himself, because maybe one day he will quit smoking. In fact, maybe you might expedite this time of when he may quit smoking to help him realize that, hey, you feel bad by what happened. This was terrible. You feel terrible. But you're proud that you don't smoke. You don't need to smoke. You actually realize you're calmer now and feeling better now than if you were a smoker under this circumstance. Wipe out this kind of mindset that he has for his own sake. This may help him either quit sooner or, again, maybe later, but at least to see that his assumption that people have to smoke under catastrophic circumstances, it's wrong. Try to help educate him. You're doing him a favor. If this is an awkward topic, hey, you could just point him to the video here. This could be a message straight to him. He was working with the false perception that cigarettes were going to make you better, and they weren't. There's just no way it could have done it. It could have put you back into smoking again, which down the line could have cost you your life. So basically, I'm going to attach a number of videos here addressing issues raised by this. Issues raised by this are, again, the offer for cigarette issues, how to address those when they do come. Then also the big issue involved here is things are going to go wrong when you quit. Life is going to go on when you quit smoking. But you have to understand you can get through those times without smoking and better. And then the really big issue is how cigarettes don't calm you down under stress, the belief that you have. One of the reasons that people are so afraid of quitting smoking is they believe they need cigarettes to get through time periods, that cigarettes, not only do they not help you get through the time period, they make those time periods worse. So, general message here, if it's to the friend who is seeing this, who made the offer, and everybody else seeing this, who again, are going to face bad times in their life, just as life goes on, is understanding that you will get through those times. You will get through those times with your quit intact. You'll get through those times healthier and overall happier, even in bad times. You may have nothing else good to show for a day that something like this were to occur, except the fact that you did it without relapsing back to a nicotine addiction. And that's an important thing to be able to state. And on recognizing it, you will realize you did yourself a great service today. Even under these adverse conditions, you kept the quit going. And you'll be able to keep your quit going through all future problems, through all good times and bad times. You'll be able to keep your quit going as long as you stick to a personal commitment that you hopefully made the day you stopped to never take another puff.